Finally, after about 6 months, I've got my hands on this one, the Asetek INVICTA quick release, and wow, I'm excited. Do you know what? It took a while, but it could be worse. I could have been on a FANATEC base and had to wait 2 decades on a quick release number 2. Anyway. Yes, I did just use doggy fornication to express to you my opinion. Anyway, I'll tell you why. Let's get into it. Welcome. Okay, these are the topics we'll be discussing about this Asetek quick release. And yeah, feel welcome to skip to any of these bits. Let's get started. The price. Okay, so you can buy this in 2 ways. You can buy 1 box, or you can buy 5 of these boxes and get a little bit of a saving. I think you get 1 free. Anyway, so for 1 of these boxes, it's 126 euros and 4 cents. If you want to buy 5 of these boxes, it's going to cost you 504 euros and 17 cents. Okay, all them prices excludes VAT, so calculate into your, your calculations. And also, geez, for me anyway, shipping is quite a steep price. So anyway, if you can maybe perhaps buy this from a local retailer and save yourself some money on shipping, go in and do so. Okay, in the box you get 3 shafts. You get 150mm one, you get your 200mm shaft, and then one that is already installed on this quick release is the 80mm shaft. And you also get this little bit here so that you can connect it to your wheel, whatever wheel you use, and you get your screws over there nice in a packet. Now, one thing I want to point out is the bag does not include countersunk screws. So if you want to attach it to, let's say, just a normal steering wheel like this, you are going to need to get, countersunk screws. As well, you get a nice little Allen key, and you get a little cable tie in there for, tying your cables, I guess, and a QR code to take you to the how-to section. Yeah, go and look. That's how I kind of figure it out. Build quality. Listen, as this is an Asetek INVICTA product, everything I touch here, I mean, it is heavy. It is very, very solid built. This weighs like half a ton. I can tell everything over here is, CNC machine is very, very nice. Everything here is made to that higher level that you expect from, an INVICTA product from Asetek. Another thing I want to note is that this spring in here on my Forte, you can see there's a spring in there. Now, I don't know if I can show you this, but the spring in here is actually thinner than the spring in there. So it's actually quite nice knowing that this one here is a lot more resistance and most likely will be even sturdier than this on there. And I mean, this thing is solid as a rock on there now. I had to send mine away. I got one of the very first ones that they released where they had a problem with a quick release. However, they resolved that within 4 days. I sent it away the Monday, I got it back the Thursday. I mean, wow, right? If that's not good service, I don't know what is. Oh, so build quality, mamma mia, it is I know this is not made in Italy, but it might as well. It's fantastic. Okay, let's quickly talk about the shaft and just the QR in general and some of the little issues and things that I'm going to be nitpicking about. Anyway, let's start. If you want to change a shaft to a longer one, it's very, very easy actually. There's 4 bolts in here, which I've already taken out just to quicken up this process and show you. And you just simply pull this out like that, and then you have, I think it is 2, 4, 6 bolts on the back that holds this cover on, which I will then be replacing onto the back of this, and then you will put this back inside there and you will attach the other 4 bolts. So I'm not going to bore you, let's just get that done now. Wow, look at this big, beautiful, black, girthy, long shaft. Yeah, it feels about right. I always need two hands to hold a baseball bat. Come on, guy, what are you thinking of? Anyway, only little thing that I found was this little tip here. Yeah, we're talking about tips as well. It's not magnetic. So, doing the screws like this was a no-go. I had to kind of like eyeball it like this and go from the bottom up. However, this is not a big deal. This is a type of thing you're only going to probably do once, and then you're going to have two shafts that are kind of useless to you just lying about. So, yeah, anyway, pick your length, and you're probably just going to leave it at that. I'm going to attach it to this now, and then we're going to do a flex test. Just before we get into the flex test, I want to talk about a few of the little problems and a few of the little good things that I've seen about this quick release in the last month or so of me using it. Now, the main problem I have is if you prefer using a long shaft like this. A lot of people like using a long one like this because you can put your monitor right over here, and your motor can then, your direct drive base could then be behind the monitors, out of sight, or you might just want that, or you just prefer perhaps your seating position having a longer shaft. Now, being that this quick release only got released way after all the bases were released, most people, in fact probably 99% of people watching this review right now, will either have a Forte steering wheel or the La Prima steering wheel. And guess what? This year, you can't change. I can't change this to have a longer shaft to match this here. So you can see where the problem comes in. If my seat is set up for this over here, then this will be very uncomfortable for me to use, because then the steering wheel will be too forward back. And then vice versa. If I set it up, my setup, to accommodate me for this steering wheel, then when I attach this, this will be then too long. And yeah, you might say, okay, why not just move your seat back? Yeah, you can move your seat back, but guess what? Then my feet are too far away from the pedals. So unless you have a seat slider and a pedal slider, and I don't, this will be a little bit of a problem. You're going to have to adjust, or you're just going to have to pick one wheel and stick with it. Okay, so that's one of the issues I have with a long shaft. Now, when it comes to the shorter shafts, especially this 80mm shaft, I find that when I've got my CSX3, and I would assume it would be with pretty much any wheel that you would have to use your USB. This USB, you can't fold it flat. Like I've got it nicely folded over here. You can't fold this flat, so it kind of sticks out over here or just in a direction, and sometimes, especially when I'm using this clutch pedal here, I can feel it's in the way when I've got the 80mm on. I actually think I've not tried it with this 150mm one, but I doubt you'll have a problem with that. But with this shorter 80mm, it's 100% a problem that this here, and you're just having this long wire that you need to coil around, is a little bit in the way. So hold up. Okay, it's best I just show you, because seeing is believing. Over here, I've now took the long shaft off and I fitted it back to the one that it comes out of the box, the 80mm. And here you can see I've got my wire coiled, and this is what I'm talking about. See this little piece here? Now you can see it's quite stiff. I mean, if I really pull it, I can flatten it out maybe in a different direction. However, this part needs to be clear so that you can actually mount it. So yeah, when I'm using this pedal, yeah, you can see it's slightly in the way. However, I use this so seldomly, it's not an issue at all. And then it's well clear of the shifters. Now, another thing I want you to keep in mind, see this cube controls, they normally get this mount, and you start the mount from there. You can see this piece over here is out from the steering wheel. If you don't have that, and let's say for example it's a button plate that you have to mount directly onto you, that will give you even less space. So keep that in mind. You know, a lot of steering wheels do have this little bit that sticks out at the back at like an inch for you to mount your your quick release onto. However, if you have to mount onto something directly, onto a wheel, then this space will be even less again. And now, yeah, they say 80 mils. Now this is 80 mils, the whole quick release is 80 mils. This here is actually like, you know, maybe 2.5 mils if I, 2.5 centimeters if I eyeball it. It would have been nice if there was an in-between. I don't know. I think that would have been the sweet spot for just wrapping your wire around and having it nice and short if it was just, you know, somewhere in between. Let's carry on. One of the things that I really like about this quick release is the fact that I can just use it mechanically. Now, I don't know how much this little wire, this little contact point that just sits here at the bottom over there, I don't know how much this actually costs. I don't know if they can just sell you this part and maybe make it 10 or 20 euros cheaper. However, this piece of board here, I'm sure it's probably only cost them only 5 euros or something, so that's probably not possible. However, I love having a steering wheel like this, that I can, no buttons, no electronics, no nothing. I can just go drifting with it, or rallying, or just even driving the Mazda. In my opinion, it's more fun with no buttons, no pedal shifters, and just using a sequential or, you know, a H pattern shifter. I love it. So now I can take this, and I took this just with 2 little screws. I took it out here, and that just comes off so easy, and when I get another wheel I want to put it on, I can just put the 2 screws back. It's as easy as that. Now I can mount this on here, and I've got no wires or anything, and this will look, I mean, look at that'll look just fantastic, and it'll be mounting exactly the same way, a nice solid mount. So yeah, that's one of the little things I really like as well about this this QR system. One of the great things Asetek has done is they are partnering up with a lot of third-party manufacturer steering wheels. So, for example, you'll be able to get these quick releases built right into the wheels, which is amazing, obviously. So it means you don't actually have to go and spend extra money when you buy that steering wheel to be able to use on your Asetek base. You won't need to pay the 150 euros, whatever it is. However, I actually think you should, and this is why. If ever you want to sell your steering wheel, and especially things higher end like a CSX3, it's not that easy for you to sell. And if you are then limiting the person that's buying from you to only Asetek bases, you can imagine it will take you even longer to sell this product. And you know, people do like chop and changing now and again. Something newer comes along, something that tickles your fancy. And then perhaps you've got the Asetek mount stuck on this, and somebody with a SIMLABS base wants to buy it off you, and then they're like, sorry, I can't, because, you know, it is only compatible with Asetek. I actually have that problem with my Asher button plate. This is only usable on my SIMLABS 2 Pro. Now it's useless to me, so that's something I want you to consider, because now I have to go and buy another button plate because I'm on a different base, and that is something that can happen to you in the future if you go that direction. Whereas if you just buy the mount like I have here, that is something you take off a mount. You can sell the mount most likely as well, and then obviously you sell your steering wheel. Okay. Another thing is, if you decide in the future to change your base, and you decide, I want to move away from Asetek, I want to buy a different brand, perhaps a SIMLABS 3, or whatever base you have, then you will also be stuck, because these steering wheels will all have these built-in, like for example this, your Forte will have your built-in quick release from Asetek, and then that wheel will not be able to be used on your new base. So keep that in mind. In my opinion, yes, it's nice that that option is available. If you're 100% committed to Asetek and you're not going to be changing in the next 5-6 years, you know, go ahead. You can save yourself a few quid, you know, a few dollar. But personally, I think rather buy the quick release separate, buy your steering wheel separate. In the long run, I think it will work better. And I mean, really, this wire here, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, it still feels crazy as hell just plugging this in, and this is really as close to wireless as you can get. So yeah, now changing wheels honestly cannot be more simple, and it's amazing. You just pull the lever on the back, you just need one hand, you pull it, pull, and that's off. you get your next wheel, and let's just take this round one over here, and same again, just like that. Mully, mully, whom, and she's on. And listen, if you want have a display or anything, that a wheel that requires power, like for example the one I've got here, the CSX3, then guess what? Just like that, let me just line her up, and there you go. And you'll see 1, 2, 3, yeah, boy. I mean, honestly, the fact that we can now use third-party wheels and they just work like that is absolute magic. Okay, let's try and do the flex, see how sturdy this thing is. And I mean, as you can see there, this is me. I mean, there you can hear my chair. I'm pushing as hard to one side to the other. This thing is rock solid. If I move it side to side, it doesn't move. In fact, I can feel the steering wheel bending a slight bit, but the QR is not moving an inch. If I go up and down, there's a slight bit of movement. But again, I actually don't think, let me do it this way. Yeah, that's actually a steering wheel moving. It's not the QR moving. I mean, it is solid. This thing is absolutely rock solid. And on that note, let's just put my INVICTA base onto max Newton meters, 27. Okay guys, don't try this at home. Look in this corner, bottom right corner, I'm on 12.5. I'm now going to start taking this to the max. If this QR can handle this, then trust me, it can handle anything. 136, let's keep going. I think it goes all the way to 60 is the max. I'm holding quite firmly onto this steering wheel. I want you to see what happens when I let go of this steering wheel. Look at that. I mean, this thing is stiff. All the dampening is down. Everything is down. So, anyway, don't try this at home. Oh, I don't know if I should be shifting one-handed or this. Oh, I'm scared. Oh, I'm not even gonna... It's near impossible to turn this thing. Well, let's have a bit of fun. Come on. I don't know, something just fell off my rig there. Maybe this is not the best of ideas. My conclusion, what do I think about this Asetek INVICTA quick release? Listen here. Honestly, out of all the quick releases I've tested in my time, this is by far my favorite. I mean, what a job has Asetek done. They've been on the market a couple of years and they innovated something like this that is rock solid. On my SIMUcube 2 Pro, I was using the SIMLABS Zero Play quick release system, and I mean, there really is zero play, but that's exactly the same here. There is no play. It is solid as a bloody house built on another house. Maybe that's not so solid, but a house built on a rock. You know that little song, don't build your house on the shore. You know, this thing is not built. This is built on a rock. Anyway, so it is rock solid, and I love it. Okay, the fact that I can just take any steering wheel. I'm not locked into an ecosystem, like, for example, FANATEC or, you know, MOZA. That was one of the biggest things when I switched to my Asetek base, was the fact that I knew I could buy third-party steering wheels, and I'll still be able to use them. And the fact that they've now made it that I can actually just go boom boom, not worried about wires, and it takes me 1 second to change from this steering wheel to this steering wheel is absolutely amazing. I cannot believe that it took FANATEC 2 decades to bring out a quick release 2, when these boys here from Asetek literally made something so fantastic, so solid in such a short period of time, and being able to release it to the masses. Well done. I mean, I can't talk highly enough of this quick release. The only thing... Listen, I'm honestly not hating on FANATEC. I think they make amazing products. In fact, the first half of my sim racing career, as you can say, has been on FANATEC gear. Okay, they make amazing stuff. However, the QR1 was definitely lacking. Now, I did get the opportunity at the Sim Expo recently in Dortmund to try the QR2, and wow, what an improvement. Okay, you still need two hands to take your wheel off. You can do it one-handed, however, it's a lot easier with two hands. It's not like the Asetek one. I can just take the wheel on and slip it on like that one-handed. However, the click you get from pushing it in, wow, is actually very, very satisfying, I have to say. And it is just as sturdy as this Asetek INVICTA. However, if you take into consideration the price you're going to be paying for that QR and the price you're paying for this one, my initial doggy analogy there at the start still stands. Okay, yeah. Let's carry on. And I would like to have a few options of these over here so that I can buy the exact length I want, because not every wheel, this wheel here, this button plate, you directly mount to this button plate. Whereas this here, if you're familiar with any CSX3, got this, maybe this 1 inch over here before you mount on here. So it'd be nice of Asetek if I actually in the store, maybe have 10 different options of lengths that you can just later on buy singularly, and you know, you can get all your steering wheels exactly the same length. I think that would be amazing. Anyway, I'm just babbling on as I do. If you like this video, please, the only thing I ask you is give it a thumbs up, because that really, really helps me, of course. And then if you want to see more of me, subscribe. As always, I hope your next race is a winner. Hallelujah.
Hey guy, click on the helmet. Thank you for watching.